Okay, welcome everybody today. And let's talk about motivation and your team. For those of you already got a team, those of you that's building a team, those of you that's going to have a large team in the future. Uh, Now, for those of you that are going to have a large team on one side in the future, and that's going to eventually be everyone, you aren't going to have to do much motivation at all to that big, huge team over there, but you got to stay connected. Okay. So, big team where you got lots of points in your counter, you better stay connected. That means just stay connected. Okay. And we'll talk about a little bit more detail how to do that. And your team that you already got together and you're putting together and that's building, let me tell you something. You can't motivate them. You can't motivate them. You can encourage them. Motivation comes from within. That's part of my system. Belief. And a person has to have the right attitude. That's why we start off with Chuck Swindoll every day. And if we're not doing that, believe me, your team is going to have a motivation problem. And your team is going to have a stickability problem. Okay. It's because they're not following the simple recipe that I put out. I know it's so simple that most people just don't believe it can be just that simple. People just don't follow it. I, I would wager, and I'm not supposed to be a wagering man, I would wager that less than 3% of everybody on my left and right team have a working list written down on pieces of paper of 500 or more people. And that's a requirement of my system for success. And I plainly say that right up front. I don't ask you to build a list of 500 people. I ask you to build a list of 500 people over a 2-year span. And I ask you to work on it 15 minutes a day, totally uninterrupted. No music, no TV, no cell phone notifications. 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, shut the door, total brain time, total think time, piece of paper. Every time a name comes to mind as you're going through that list of how to build a list, all those memory joggers of everything and everything you've ever done in your life or attempted to do. We got every memory jogger written down for you. All you have to do is pull them up every time. And you just go through your life from the first point of remembrance. And me, I remember people in the first grade I went to. Maybe you don't. Not everybody's blessed like that. My wife, she can hardly go back to high school. Okay. But she remembers certain people. But me, I can go back to where I lived when I was 5 years old and who my neighbors were. But everybody's ability like that is different. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to go that far back. All you need to go back is to high school. But if you go back further than that, that's even better because you're going to have a bigger list. Motivation. You can only encourage. And what I teach you to do is encourage your people. Encourage them to let them know the information that they have in their hand. Stay in contact with them. Get them to hang around the flagpole. Get them to listen to a call that you listened to that was recorded during the past week. Get them to share some new information with them. Tell them, come back to what can provide them with a recurring income while they build wealth. The same reason we got in, you can build wealth and develop a recurring income. that just doesn't exist anywhere. You build wealth and develop a recurring income. But so you got to have that belief inside for that to translate to that other person. 7 years from now, if your person doesn't just stop believing in themselves and drop out, cancel their membership, to me, a person canceling their membership, I'm gonna just be plain honest with you. Their brain don't work right. There is no reason a person should cancel their membership. They might stop buying that coin every month, which that's not a smart move, because you throw away tons of dollars in your account. I mean, it's just like flushing dollar bills down the toilet. Something they could never do on their own, as a team is being built underneath them. And, I don't care if it's $2,000 in that bank. That's $2,000 they can draw out later. But when it gets 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, some people in my business have over 300,000 or more. They may only make 1 or 2 checks a year, but that's 1 or 2 checks they would have never made in their life while they're building the wealth, while they're getting products that gain value with time. A proven fact. Now, if they're not hanging around, they can't build the skill set of how to get their money back. They have to depend on people like us. I have purchased literally thousands of dollars worth of product from people that's been in the business, because new people who have vision, people who have understanding, people who understands that sometimes that little principle, it takes money to make money, but it doesn't take you a fortune in this business. You don't have to be rich, but you have to prioritize. You have to learn to prioritize. People are going to blow more than $105 on meals in a month, whereas they could keep the electricity on in their business and buy a product that will gain wealth for them. Whereas they'll go blow it on food. How about fasting for a couple of days a month so you can buy your product? Simple principle. Prioritization. See, that motivation only comes from within. That's a kind of motivation that one has to have, some self-discipline. You cannot instill that into people. You can only help them learn about it. And then it has to come from themselves. And so our job is to educate. One of our biggest jobs in this people business is to educate and to communicate. And with my videos, I try to help you do that if you can't do it yet. And your job is to distribute my videos and a point that you got out of it. And even if it takes you to go and sit down and watch it with them, and you've watched it and you're watching it the second time, but I'll guarantee you, you'll hear something you didn't hear the first time. Because in all things in life, it takes you 7 times before you really get at least 90% comprehension of what you're hearing. So you have to like watch a video 7 times. That's part of my training. That's part of that job description. You do the same things over and over and over and over, those same 5 things over and 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 again, 5 days a week for 2 years, 10 hours a day, 10 hours a week, I'm sorry. And I say 5 to 10, but that's the education part. Yeah, you get to earn while you learn. But you got to develop those skills, attitudes, and techniques. And if you're not out there fishing, you can't catch the big kahuna. You can't catch the big fish. You can't catch the whale. Yeah, and you got to have bait on that hook. So it's the what ifs, the peak interest questions, learning how to become an expert at that thing and not annoying people, but engaging people to have a conversation with you. See, there's a fine line difference there. I love people on fire, but it's not always accepted the same in all circumstances. Oh, I remember when Rod got in this, he was on fire all right. But see, everybody did this to Rod and his family. It was very discouraging to him. But see, Denon Nelson was a person on fire. But she never let anybody else's attitude affect her attitude, her posture, her belief. And she was just bubbling on fire and got people in on her left and right. And that's that little real estate young lady that you see on those testimonies that made a 6-figure income right in the beginning and still makes a 6-figure income. All she does is buy coin a month. I mean, she's got Chris Latin and his whole group. She's got me and my whole group and Wayne Clark and his whole group, which is under me, all on her left side. And on her right side, she has Diane Graver and Colleen Lee and their whole group, and the new executive goal, Michael, I just forgot his name. Anyway, and his whole group on her right side. You know, she has enough points to make $10,000 every week, or at least $7,000 every week, but she just makes $2,000 a week. But that's a 6-figure income for the rest of her life. And all she does is buy a coin once a month. That same type of opportunity is going to be available to you if you believe and if you're engaged. Because she didn't find any of us. She found a person who found a person who found a person. She didn't even find the person who found the person of any of us. On both of her sides, she found a person who led to 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 those people. I was the only one that was placed under her. The Latins was a person who led to a person who led to a person to the Latins. What if it took you 10 years for that to happen to you? That kind of income, no matter what your age or what your status is, or if it's only an extra $500 each and every week, and you're the one that having to buy 3 coins every month. Yeah, yours, your spouse's, or your grandchild's, or whomever, your left and your right. So think long-term, think big. I mean, $500 a week for the rest of your life for buying 3 valuable coins to build wealth with once a month. And a renewal fee of $921 a year. The economics pay out. I do numbers quite quickly in my head. And that's just for $500 a week. We got plenty people positioned in this business right now that can do that. Learning to take my little less than a half an hour video that I just did for y'all to attach to the wealth strategies, the new wealth strategies presentation, and you got a complete presentation. You just got to learn how to do the what ifs, ask the peak question, and sit down and press play and show those 2 videos to somebody and say, hey, I want you on my team. Let's hook up together. Let's do this together. Let's follow the system, a proven system that works. Let's give ourselves a chance to succeed once in our life beyond just working a job, helping someone else get rich off our backs. That's what a job is. That's what a job is. I don't care how much you make in it. I made tons of money. I got to the top 2 percentile in employment income as a job in the nation. So I know what that's like. I still felt like a slave. I had no freedom. I wasn't my own boss. And I was making tons of people rich off all my work. You get wealthy by paying yourself. And in our business, it's a people business. It's people helping people believe in themselves. It's a people helping people learn how to develop the skills, attitudes, and techniques jointly, together, hooking arms together, encouraging one another, encouraging people to stay plugged in, encouraging people to walk down to the water and then bend over and take a drink, encouraging them. You can't make them do it. But you are the great encourager. Become the great encourager. But you got to have an attitude of gratitude. You got to have that smile on your face. You got to have that belief in your heart and in your head. You got to believe like I do. This is the greatest company that ever existed in direct sales. It's doing things different that no other company's ever done. And learn the basics about it. Learn the facts that why it's not a flaming pyramid. Why 2 of the most prestigious, most reputable companies in the world, PCSG and NGC, have allowed for the first time in their history another company, and let alone just another company, a direct sales company at that, put their label on the same label with their label. Now, those companies, their reputation is everything. And all you do is ask people, they know how to vet companies better than us about who's behind it, if it's legitimate, not legitimate. They know tons more than we do, have tons better lawyers than we do, have tons better accountants and professionals looking after their 35-year-old plus year businesses that their reputation is everything? Do you think they would jeopardize that and even get closely associated with anything that might tarnish or harm their reputation? We got to jump on board this sucker. We got to become part of this mega giant company. We got to get our little piece from it. They're willing to pay enormous sums of money to us to help promote them and promote their membership, because we are the TV advertisements. That's all we are. We're the print advertisements. We're the magazine advertisement. We're where you see Rosalind, Lear Capital, Roslin Capital, Swiss, and Gold Line and Blanchard and Company and all these other gold companies advertising on radio, on TV, and in magazines and mail outs. And I'll guarantee you, many of you receive those mail outs, and they send millions of those suckers. Ain't just send look, to just send 1 million of those, let alone the cost of making it and putting an envelope and it sending out. But just say that's $1, including postage. That's $1 million every time they send 1 million of those suckers out. And they send out more than 1 million of them. The 7K pays us that beautiful left-right commission plan where you only have to sponsor one on your left and one on your right. And it could be your children in the long run, like Dana. And I don't know if that's what Dana's doing. I don't think so, because I know she's got rank, okay? So she's got people actually got rank to be able to make $2,000 a week. She's got to be at least the bronze to make $2,000 a week every week, okay? So she's got a copper on her left and a copper on her right, right? So she's got people over there on her left and right, maybe making $500 or more every week, and they're pretty happy. But just think if they want to make more and they become a bronze, that'll make Dana a silver, and then her check will automatically go up to $3,500 a week. She gets silver on the left and right. And then what if those people become silvers and she becomes gold? Her check will automatically go up to $7,000 a week. Whew, that's pretty powerful. Mine won't do that yet. I don't have that kind of volume on my left and right side. I mean, I'm pretty happy averaging over 20,000 extra a month between my wife and I. I'm pretty happy about that, you know. I'm not complaining. And that didn't happen overnight to us. Everybody knows my story. I mean, we got in to buy some silver and gold and do some traveling, have some fun, make a little extra cash in retirement. And help other people kind of see what we saw. And ended up, averaging over $500 a week for the first year. That's a nice extra income in retirement. And then the next year we put a couple of more people in, not a ton. Now we concentrate on our people and teach people a system. And then after they learn that system, I expect them to do the things I taught them. I expect them to stand on their 2 feet and me not have to nurse them. I don't mind making calls. I don't mind going and doing a meeting every once in a while. But I can't go all over the country and do, meeting every day for everybody. And all I'm doing is saying, hello, this is it. Put some points in people and press play like I do every Tuesday night. In the one meeting I committed to do until somebody was ready to stand up there and do the meeting instead of me. Okay. Wayne Clark does all his own meetings. I went to one Wayne Clark meeting. No, I'm sorry, 4. We got him kicked off, and I showed him how to do the meeting like I do it. And then he came, and then, you know, now Wayne Clark did something no one else in this business has done. I did in the first 30 days more 3-way calls with Wayne Clark than I did in the entire 3.5 years by everybody in my organization put together. He put me on 3-way calls with everybody who was prospecting. It may not have been his first contact with him. It may have been his, and in most cases, it was his follow-up contact after, because my requirement is they've got to watch a video. You want to put them on a file, I'm not going to do your prospecting for you. You make sure they watch the video, even if you have to watch the video with them. Because you're wasting your 50 caliber machine gun on them if you put me on the phone with them and hadn't seen anything. And you expect me to close them just because they talk to me. That's not how you do a 3-way. But that's why Wayne Clark made bronze in 1 week. He was the first person to win that 100-ounce silver bar. He set the standard. He showed that it could be done. And then 18 people in his own group earned it after him and set his record. And then now you got the rest of the company in the where the company gave everybody a restart chance. Even if you've been in the business, they said, okay, 90 days from now, from this date, if you get that silver bar, you win it. And they gave the rank ups. So, even if you were a bronze, you could go to executive, a copper, I think. Okay. Or whatever it was. I don't know. But the company, just gave everybody else a chance because it was happening. It was growing. Belief, motivation. See, that motivation came from within, from all those people, because they saw they could do it. Motivation comes from within. You can't inject it into people. You can only become the encourager. You can only help people believe more in themselves. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. About a yard, it's hard. I'm going to see all of you on the beaches of the world, because these are the principles that you instill from you to another person in your partners. And you want to have one good one on your left and one good one on your right. And if you end up having one of these runaway legs like Rod has and a few other people on this call right now, you still want to have one good partner on your left or on your strong side, and not just your pay side. You're going to have a lot of partners on your pay side, but you want to have one good partner on that pay side, because there's your rank up. That's your person that you're going to help them rank up. So you're going to have one good one on your left, one good one on your right. That is the essence of this business. That's all you're searching for. But if you're not fishing and you're not searching, you'll never find them. That's why you search every day. That's why you always broaden your horizons, enlarging your circle of influence, meeting new people, making new bonds, making new connections. And then you will be immensely successful financially. Have a great 2021 and explode your business and build a walk-away income for the first time in your life while you're building true wealth. See you on the beaches of the world, living a lifestyle powered by gold and silver through 7K.